Mike Wimbridge. I've been supporting Eastleigh for just over 20 years. When I think about my first time at Eastleigh, it was actually a 1-1 draw against Bemerton Heath Harlequins. There are about 50 people in the ground, and I stood with Michael Ingram and Steve White, who still go today, and we stood in the little pallets in the very, very small stand, and I was hooked from day one. I'd been playing rugby, watching Premier League football at the time, got a little disillusioned with it, wanted to do something that was more local to me. So literally Eastleigh's less than a mile from my home, so I went down, and yeah, here I am 20 plus years later. I used to be a stretcher bearer back in the day. Yeah, my friend Stu Solly and myself volunteered to be stewards, match day stewards. We just wanted to be in the thick of the action a bit, give us a cup of tea at half time, and we were happy to get involved. So that then moved into being stretcher bearers for the games. And there was one fairly famous incident for me where I decided I'd wear flip-flops because it was early in the season, and poor old Tom Jordan got crocked, so we had to carry him off. And there's pictures of me. I was actually quite a lot bigger than I am now, believe it or not, and in my flip-flops. So I was dubbed the flip-flop assassin from there on. So a normal match day for me involves me getting to the ground around about 1:15, 1:30. I took the decision to become an associate director a few years ago. So that means I get to go and enjoy the fabulous hospitality that we've got, meet all my friends, meet lots of other people, and we have a meal before the game, and then afterwards we tend to sort of just have a bit of a debrief. Sometimes it's ranting and raving, hopefully more often than not it's going to be enjoying a win and talking about how we're going to get to the next round. Why do I support Eastleigh? Very, very easy question for me. I travelled around a lot as a kid. My father was in the military. I ended up living in the Eastleigh area. As I mentioned earlier, I live a mile from the ground. I wanted to go somewhere where I felt part of a community, part of something more than just myself. I'm lucky enough now, after so long, to be able to go to a ground and be able to speak to 100 or more people on any given day, and I just absolutely love it. The best thing about supporting a team like Eastleigh, apart from it's amazing, is the fact that certainly from day one, you get to know the players, you get involved. I feel you're much more in touch with the actual game, everything about it. You've got friends and family around you, and there's much more of an identification than just watching them on TV always and saying I'm a supporter of this club, a supporter of that club. You actually get to know the players, even peripherally sometimes, and you just feel engaged, and it's one team moving forward. I mean, I've been very lucky in the time I've supported Eastleigh. We've gone from Wessex League right up to the National League, and hopefully challenging for progress above that. And it's such a journey that I feel passionate, and I also feel that I've been involved in a tiny way in some of that. Some of my favourite players to worn an Eastleigh shirt, gosh, I go back to a little bit before these days, but guys like Anthony Riviere, Peter Adenyi, Glenn Southam, some names that you'll have seen and heard of, that just really embodied the spirit of the club. Players like Michael Green, Craig McAllister, local guys as well, that shared that passion and took us from that Wessex League right through to now. Yeah, you look at some of the team we've got now, certainly from last season, guys like Charlie Carter, George Langston. For me, they're the same type of player. I don't think they're just turning up to take a wage slip. I think they genuinely care, and you can see that on the pitch. You know, good and bad sometimes when the results don't go our way, but they care much more than I think sometimes it appears the Premier League guys do. Looking at back on previous matches, highlights for me, the big one that sticks in my mind is when we went up to Bromley and we beat them 2-1 the year we got promoted from the Conference South. You know, we'd been 10 plus points behind them most of the season, and something clicked that night. Ben Wright smacked in an absolute brilliant goal to start us off, and then scored a penalty to win it. And you sort of knew from that moment that it was our year, and just joining in the celebrations with the guys on the day that we clinched it was, I mean, it sort of gives me goosebumps thinking about it now. It was just absolutely fantastic. So looking at last season, for me, the obvious answer would be a little disappointed at the end because we did so much work. If you reflect on it and just look back in the cold light of day, budget constraints, progress we made, you know, there were some big steps forward. I think the calibre of player that we had last year was a step above where we've been previously. I'm rather hoping that's going to happen again. You know, Stuart Donald's saying we're looking to challenge for, you know, the upper numbers of that league, and that's quite exciting. Yeah, I'd like personally to see us playing more attacking football. Hopefully the manager will do that, and we'll start to see, you know, floods of goals coming in at Silver Lake. I'm fortunate I get to travel to lots and lots of the away games, and it's great to see, it's great to meet people that are the same as you, but they support Notts County, or they support, you know, someone like Wealdstone. Now those guys at Wealdstone are amazing, but just that sort of sense of community. So looking forward to next season. You know, quite exciting. Stuart's back, lots going on at the ground. You know, I'm hearing lots to look forward to. We've already had a couple of signings which I think are positive for us. I'm hoping we're going to get plenty more. It'd be great to see a couple of the players that really started to make an impact last year moving on, moving forward, I should say. I mentioned Carter, I mentioned George. You know, someone like Campy as well. Like, you know, these are quality players, and they really get that spirit. I think the fans sort of also buy into, and it's just superb to see so many new fans and the reach the club's having. So I just think with a slightly better, improved infrastructure, good results on the pitch, you know, really the sky's the limit for us. Favourite moments for last season? Well, there are lots and lots to mention, but just looking at some of the goals that particularly Danny Whitehall scored, the halfway, you know, that I voted for goal of the season, by the way, so fingers crossed for that. But you know, it's just great to see quality players doing quality things with an Eastleigh shirt on and caring passionately that they're doing so. Fantastic. If I was talking to a Premier League fan about going to watch non-league, to watch Eastleigh, I talk to them just about the real sense of involvement that it gives you. Premier League's amazing, the standard of play, the superstar players is one thing, but you're removed from it. In many grounds, you're a really long way from the pitch as well. What for me is so important is that you can get pitch side if you choose to, and you can really get a feel for what's happening on the pitch and just feel the emotion around you, as opposed to, you know, you look at some Premier League sides and you pan around the crowd and you're guessing that those people are there just there almost like going to the theatre. There's a trip been organised, oh, we'll go and watch Man United this week, and then next week there's some other random sat next to you. So, you know, someone like Eastleigh, you see the same people, you're starting to encourage to see new people coming in, and just really the full, almost the immersive experience, as opposed to a trip to somewhere like a Premier League ground.